This is an in-depth review of the Season 4 finale of Wynonna Earp, Old Souls. It truly was an episode full of love for the characters, the actors who portrayed them in the show, and the Earper fan base who loves them. The villain of the episode is not a long-established villain of the show, but more of a monster of the week. And even she is sympathetic, at least to Waverly and Nicole. She does not take up the majority of the episode. The episode itself spends its runtime around the characters that have made the show so strong, as they move into the new phases of their lives with Waverly and Nicole's nuptials. The showrunner, Emily Andress, knew there was a likelihood that a Season 5 would not be guaranteed after the show had struggled continually season to season. The Season 4 finale, that while open-ended, does serve as a finale if the show were to end with 4. Oftentimes, shows' finales divide and disappoint fans. The Wynonna Earp fan base, the Earpers, however, are a very loving, inclusive fan base and have had great respect for all who are involved in the show. Even without the kindness of the Earpers, the actions of the characters in the episode are true to their personalities. Doc and Wynonna have never said the words "I love you" aloud to each other. Doc knows that as a man who has matured and grown in the span of 4 seasons, it would be cowardly to stay within the confines of the same relationship and same daily routines. He wants Wynonna to tell him that she loves him, and he wants her to come with him as he sees the modern world outside the Ghost River Triangle that he hasn't been privy to as he was trapped in a well for over 100 years. Interestingly, Wynonna says later in the episode that her and Henry haven't always been good together, but in Doc's readiness to move forward, he is in fact making the healthy and needed steps of growth in their relationship and in his relationship with himself and all the people he cares for. As Doc is packing his belongings into his car preparing to leave, Wynonna comes to stop him, in typical Doc fashion, always great with words. He tells Wynonna about how it was love, not vengeance, that drove him when he was trapped in the well all those years ago. Forgive me for not delivering the lines as well as Tim Rozon, guys. See, life is short, but it is long, and it is lonely. If you manage to find a group of souls that will tolerate you and elevate you in one that will especially love you, well, that is all it's about. And Wynonna cannot tell him how she feels. And she tells Doc that she cannot leave her sister, and then Doc delivers that line. Then you do know of what I speak. Wynonna's love for her sister, it's the only love that she's been unafraid and unashamed to express. She tells her sister within the episode, "You're my whole heart, Waverly." Doc understands and respects her decision. And I want to add before I move on, I was not certain I was interpreting this correctly, and I'm adding it in here because I'd like to know if anyone else agrees with me or thought the same when they saw it. Doc calls Wynonna a friend in this scene, the very word she put in place on him in the Season 1, Episode 6, Constant Cravings, after she did not want to pursue a romantic relationship with him further after their sexual encounter in the prior episode, Digging Up Bones. He loves her, but she will not tell him that she feels the same or choose to go with him, and so what are they? They are not a united couple, no longer lovers. The title friend is all he can bestow on her. It doesn't fit, and he struggles to use that word, partially because he's calling her the best Earp he has ever had the privilege of calling, and he has known Wyatt and Waverly Earp, and neither of them were his lovers. So maybe friend was the only word he could think to put in place there. Am I reading too much into it? I don't know. Now, Wynonna, however, has greater difficulty moving forward than Doc does. The first season of Wynonna Earp, Wynonna was a reluctant heir. At the end of Season 3, the curse that the demon Bullshar placed on the Earp line was broken. Wynonna was no longer the mystical Earp heir, and she was bestowed a champion title by her angel sister. Throughout Season 4, however, Wynonna continued to call herself the Earp heir, even though that part of her life was over, even though Peacemaker had served its purpose. She clung to the title and the responsibility as an identity and an excuse not to allow herself and her relationships to grow. Season 2 finale, she told Doc after giving birth to their daughter, Alice Michelle, that they would break the curse so that she would never have to. After it was broken in Season 3 and throughout Season 4, she made no move to bring their child home. Granted, there was a dangerous magical fog coming from the Garden of Eden. Wynonna would not allow herself that responsibility. She continually told herself and those around her that her responsibility was protecting the Ghost River Triangle. It took Waverly, her beloved baby sister, telling her what she was trying to tell her in the intervention episode 10 of this season. I've turned her that way, that she was not alone. Only this time, Wynonna is ready to listen. Waverly is an angel. Nicole became the angel's shield, and Jeremy has just been promoted to a deputy chief position at Black Badge within the Ghost River Triangle. Wynonna does not need to stay and be the sole protector. She can go and live her life away from the Ghost River Triangle. She does not need to be stuck there or far away. She can come and go. And the ones who love her will need her as that, a loved one, not just a hero. She doesn't have to only be a hero. She is more than an heir or a champion. She is a human being, Wynonna Earp, who deserves a life other than one tied to a curse, to love and be loved by others. Waverly has been telling Doc that he loves Wynonna since Season 1, and telling Wynonna that he loves her, and implying that she loves Doc almost as long. She speaks to the writers and the fans in a way. When Waverly is trying to convince Wynonna to let herself make a decision that she wants, what is good for her, and trying to tell her sister to acknowledge her feelings for Doc, she tells her, "You love him, Wynonna." Wynonna's eyes get big with realization. "Oh, fuck, I do," she says. Waverly has always been the character throughout the show to convince Wynonna. Doc may know her better than anyone, but Waverly is Wynonna's favorite person. Love that has been constant throughout her life. And the fact that it is Waverly who allows Wynonna to grant herself permission to allow herself to love and leave the Ghost River Triangle is a consistent character writing that is phenomenal within this show. Now, Wynonna chasing down Doc on her motorcycle, I was happy to see that motorcycle. And I was hoping to see it again since we hadn't seen it since season 1. Rushing to catch Doc before he left the Ghost River Triangle and chasing after him is cliche. It was done well, don't misunderstand me. I liked it, it was done well. But Doc leaving to then be chased by Wynonna, I could see coming. Admittedly, though, I could see Wynonna not allowing herself freedom and love. She's prone to hurting herself, and I was afraid that Doc leaving without them together was actually a possibility for the show ending. The scene where Wynonna caught up to Doc as he is leaving the Ghost River Triangle was done very well. The sign that reads, "Leaving Purgatory, you'll be back," I felt was meant for me and the other Earpers. We will be back. We can always come back to Purgatory because in many ways, this place has become our home, where we feel safe and accepted. The scene is very in character for both Wynonna and Doc as they both tell the other that they love them. And they ride off together, with Wynonna telling him it's been a long time since I traveled light, signifying the light, acceptance, and love she now feels for herself and has allowed herself to have, and the burden she no longer carries. The fact that they are going to get their daughter as the family begin a mature relationship together as a committed couple is perfect. Wynonna's line to Doc, "I'm all in," was a wonderful callback to Doc's note to her in Season 2, Episode 6, Whiskey Lullaby, when he found out she was pregnant with their child. That was writing gold. Okay, so for character growth, I have to say Nedley is the character who has grown the least this season. I feel that in Season 3, he realized what he needed to do to stay sane, he retired. That was the last big character growth and journey we saw from him. And now he is relaxed to just about everything. So I don't feel he took any big character steps in the episode when he decided to take Rachel and Billy on a fishing trip. Speaking of Billy, if he goes on Clanton land, he will get re-reaped. So where is he living? Seriously, if anyone knows, please tell me in the comments. So Nedley is like the dad of the group. He really is. He's back up for everything, a kind word, an ear to listen. And I thought he would be the one to walk Nicole down the aisle, and I was happy to see that he did. It was nice seeing Rachel and Billy getting to be teenagers. Purgatory has historically not been a place where children get to have a childhood, so they are forced to grow up faster than they should. And now they have a nice life that they get to enjoy in their new inclusive town. Jeremy. He didn't get a lot of attention this season, I feel. I was happy that he got a promotion, although it seemed like maybe from a writing standpoint they did so just to give him something. The characters were all pretty done with Black Badge by the end of the season, and they never were happy that they worked for an organization where they signed their names in blood, too. Even so, it was nice to see Jeremy ready to move on romantically, as Robin now has no memory of him and another boyfriend. And Jeremy has a date with Damon, the caterer of the wedding. Okay, now, what almost everybody wants to talk about, the wedding of Waverly and Nicole. It was beautiful. I was crying. The aesthetic is actually what I want for my own wedding, outside in nature with a country theme. The wedding banner reads, "Where you go, I go." Nicole's words to Waverly from Season 2, Episode 11, Gone as a Girl Can Get. And it evokes a strong emotional reaction to fans of the show. This episode as a whole is a genuine gift of love to the fans, to everyone involved with the show. I loved seeing the chairs with the names of the loved ones who were not with them. The focus on the chair with Doll's name was wonderful. It was beautiful. I was surprised that Shorty's name wasn't on a chair. He was always kind to Wynonna and Waverly, and his death really affected Wynonna in Season 1. Also, Gus's husband Curtis didn't have his name on a chair. He raised Wynonna and Waverly with Gus after their father Ward died, who also didn't have his name on a chair. Now, Ward wasn't a very good father, I know that, but he was their father. He might have had a chair. It was surprising, and I kept rewatching that chair scene to read the names, and I thought I was seeing the name Percy, but I checked, it was the name Posse. I don't know who that is. I can't find a character named Posse in the show. If anybody knows, please tell me. I assume with the coronavirus and money, the showrunners couldn't get more characters to attend the wedding. The fact that Mercedes wasn't there made me notice it more as she was in the prior episode. The chair scene as a whole, though, was beautiful. I loved it. The vows between Nicole and Waverly were great. I liked that Waverly brought up the bulletproof vest that saved Nicole's life in Season 1, Episode 13, I Walked the Line. Jeremy being the officiant of the wedding ceremony as Waverly's best friend, and Wynonna walking Waverly down the aisle were so touching. Their exchanges to each other, "You're the best of us, baby girl," and "I love you too, sis." So sweet. The tears, the smiles, Wynonna looking at Doc throughout the ceremony, everyone looked amazing in their outfits, and Jeremy catching the bouquet. I was so happy for all of them. And the closing shot of the episode. The mailbox. As the camera pans up, the signs of the people who live there, who are now family, and ends on the sign, "Everyone welcome." It was a beautiful, heartwarming shot to end on. Because that sign is truly us, the fans. Everyone is welcome in this beloved show. There isn't a whole lot of comedy or danger in this episode. Again, it's very character-driven. The Silk Witch is funny. I personally enjoyed watching her, and how the other characters react off of her is funny. Daka and Wynonna have some funny, flirty moments in the beginning of the episode. Waverly and Nicole have funny lines. Of course, the writers of the show had to get one more sex scene in with the two of them before the season ended. And Waverly's calm emotions about the wedding are sweet and comedic, with Wynonna's stress over making it perfect. Nedley is always funny. Jeremy has the majority of the comedy within the episode with his interactions with Damon. And as for Danger, a woman murdering everyone in her wedding ceremony in the beginning of the episode, things exploding and catching on fire because of the cursed dress, is dangerous and funny. That, combined with Wynonna stuck in a dress that would make her kill everyone, is pretty serious. So you do get everything. It was an episode focused on the journey that has been culminating for these characters, and it was beautifully done. I'm happy with this episode. It's one of my favorites of the series. Well, that was my in-depth review of the Season 4 finale, Old Souls. Thanks for watching and listening. Please subscribe. Thanks!